Hello, everybody. This is OmniTalk Retail coming to you live once again from E-Tail in Palm Springs. I'm Ann Mazinga.
And I'm Chris Walton.
And we are here in the Firework booth, booth 100.
Booth
so
100.
If you're at the show, come check us out. Standing between us, we have Vincent Yang, one of the founders of Firework, joining us again. Welcome, Vincent.
Yeah, thank you, Ann. Thank you, Chris, for having me.
Yeah, how long's it been? We were trying to think about that. It's been like a year and a half, right, since we've had you on the show?
Yeah, it's quite a while.
Yeah,
it's
good to have you back. What have you been up to? What's new?
What's new? So we've been quite busy. So we launched a lot of new products. I think Firework, many people know us maybe 1.5 years ago.
Yep.
More is about live stream vendors. But we have evolved a long way. So offering shoppable videos. We recently launched a product called one-to-one video commerce that helping company with high AOV product to engage on a personalized basis.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So one-to-one video like concierge, right? I mean, this is like, explain for me as a consumer what I'm doing now with that in play that I couldn't do before.
Yeah, it's almost like having a Zoom on a website.
Okay.
Nice.
So before
nice.
that,
Good explanation.
Yeah, you go to a website, you have to book a Zoom meeting, you have a one-to-one conversation. In particular, valuable for brands like Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom, where one-to-one shopping is the core revenue driver.
Right.
So what Firework did is we're trying to bring that experience online.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing.
So this is happening on the brand's website.
Yeah.
How are they coming to the brand? Like, what are the brands that you're working with doing to get people from, is it social? Is it ads? Like, where are they coming from and what does that experience look like?
Yeah, I think it's the whole idea for the D2C website. They have already decent amount of traffic. So I think the traffic, some come from social, a lot is organic.
Okay.
Right? And if you look at some of the bigger brands, has millions of traffic, so organic is a very big piece. Mm-hmm. But their issue before is conversion.
Right.
So that's what Firework helps with, right? We are very different from tactiles. We don't bring traffic, but we drive double or triple the conversion rate.
Right. So once they get to the brand site, they're spending more, they're engaging more, which you guys have been doing for a long time from back in the day when you started with live stream shopping.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the entire notion for Firework is we are the bottom funnel, right? Our job is about, can they use Firework? Previously, the average e-commerce conversion rate is 2%. 98% of people do not convert. So for Firework to say, can we increase that 2% to 4%, which means you will double the revenue.
Right.
So there's only two ways to double the revenue. One way is double your media spend, which is a lot of money, or to double your conversion, which is fairly easy to do.
Okay.
So that's what we focus on.
Yeah, we don't want to spend the money. The money part is not what we have available to us.
No, but it hits on something, Ann, you and I were talking about yesterday. Like, we always talk about the reasons stores exist, right?
Yes.
Digitally or physically. And one of those reasons is the tactile nature of the shopping experience, which heretofore has been a really difficult challenge for e-commerce to compete against the physical experience of going to a high-end store.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, Vincent, what you're saying is that is kind of going away because you're creating like a Zoom-like interface for the customers of these high-end brands to talk to people that understand the brand very well, can explain the product details, the product attributes, and then ultimately convert them on the site. That's the whole idea here, right?
I think, Chris, you mentioned there's a data point that I collected, which is the in-store shopping experience normally generates about 7 times higher conversion than online.
Right. Great point.
Because the in-store, right? Online is not very good at that.
Right.
It's very transactional, etc. So that's why using our one-to-one shopping product, it can help a lot. So I've seen about online after Firework can double the, still much lower than the in-store, but it's way better than it does before that.
Right.
So that's why we use the phrase called bring in-store shopping experience online.
Right.
That's the whole mantra.
And it's funny because Ann and I, we literally had this conversation on the plane yesterday because we always talk about, Vincent, I think you like this too, and for those watching, they've heard us say this a lot of time. There's 5 elements to why you go to a store. There's inspiration, convenience, immediate gratification, taction, this idea that we're talking about here, and the social experience of shopping. And you guys are hitting on a lot of those, but the tactile nature of what's going to happen in e-commerce is really the thing that people, I don't think, are talking about enough in terms of how things are going to change relative to where they were a year or two ago.
Right. Yeah, there's so much to come. I guess let's close with that question for you, Vincent. What's next from Firework? What should we expect? What does 2024 look like for you and the team?
I think if you look at starting from 2 years ago, when we did very well on content, right? Because before that, we focused on enabling content on website. But in the last 3 years, we focus on another word, which is called conversation.
Okay.
Right, we are shifting from content to conversation.
Conversation.
If you look at our one-to-one product, it's a conversation. What we're having is a conversation. So what's next for us is how do we scale that out?
Right.
So we launched something called Ava, which is a brand new AIGC digital humans to actually start a conversation with any customers at infinite scale. So this is very big for us. We just launched the product a few weeks ago. Now we are pushing heavily on this one.
Okay.
So that's next for us.
So that's here. That's what people should come check out. If people are not, if you're at e-tail again, we're in booth 100. We'll be here all day. We're here all day.
We're here all day. We'll be here all day. But Anne, before we close, but that was another thing that we talked about yesterday, right? It was like we talked about how you got the element of like the Zoom nature of this, right?
Yes.
But then with AI coming into play, the language models allow you to have a conversation with either real people or actual like people behind the scenes or even yourself to answer the questions you need to get the information you need to be comfortable in the purchase you're making.
Right.
That's essentially what we're talking about, right, Vincent?
Exactly.
And not just pre-purchase, but also post-purchase in your case, which is what we were talking about with your experience getting your Jordans from Nike.
Getting my Jordans and like all the things that we're seeing in this space. I mean, this is really the crux of where e-commerce is, the crucible of where innovation is going to happen in e-commerce here, folks.
Yeah. And also, I think it's not limited just to online. It can also live offline. Think about having a screen
100%
in a store.
Yep.
Because it's very hard to find sales associate.
Right.
Even if I do, they probably might not have enough knowledge.
Right.
But I can interact with a digital human with enough knowledge.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I think that online and offline can come together.
Their tools will get better too.
And it's 24/7 too. I mean, I think that's the beauty of it too. You're not reliant on just the teams that you have in your store. This is kind of taking that to the next level.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Vincent, if people are not at the show and they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
I think just visit our website, very simple, firework.com, or you can add my LinkedIn, or my email is vincent@firework.com. So fairly simple.
Every time you talk to Vincent, you will learn something. I can guarantee.
Yeah, he always
that.
cements everything that we're thinking about. Like he really just did that for us too. Like we're going to give a presentation in a couple days, and like boom, just nailed it for me. Thanks, man. Always a pleasure.
Well, thanks everybody. We'll be back with more shortly. Stay tuned. Stay tuned to OmniTalk Retail for all of the live coverage from the e-tail conference in Palm Springs. And until then,
be careful out there.